As we've been hearing, in the UK, an amber warning of extreme heat has come into force across most of England and parts of Wales. The alert will extend to the whole of Wales and southern Scotland from tomorrow, when a red heat warning, meaning there's a risk to life, will come into force in parts of England. Well, joining us now is Rachel Ayres, Senior Operational Meteorologist at the Met Office in the UK. Rachel, thanks for joining us in these hot conditions. How extreme is this?
It's pretty extreme. It's unprecedented temperatures to see sort of 40 degrees forecast for the UK. So that's 40 Celsius, that's 104 degrees Fahrenheit. And it's something that we've not seen before. So it is very extreme. It should be taken very seriously.
Can you help us understand, for those that don't know, watching around the world, what 40 degrees means, looks like, feels like? Because in the UK today, it could hit 32 in England. What will the 8-degree difference over the next couple of days mean and feel like?
So it's going to feel quite noticeable, particularly the north and west. Even the temperatures aren't getting quite as high, the humidity is going to rise, so it's going to feel quite sticky. And then elsewhere overnight, those temperatures are not going to be dipping below about 20 to 25 degrees in some places. So what we'd call a tropical night. So feeling very sticky, unpleasant for sleeping. During the day across the south and east, it'll be a little drier, so it's lower humidity, but still going to be feeling extremely warm. And we'll notice sort of impacts on our infrastructure. Here, we're obviously not having widespread air conditioning units in houses and even in some public places. People are going to find it quite difficult to cool down, particularly with those overnight temperatures remaining very high.
You touched on it there, that no cooling off period overnight for a couple of days. Is that one of the main issues here with this?
Exactly. That's part of the reason we've got these extreme heat warnings in place, because there's no respite from the heat. Overnight, temperatures are still going to be remaining high. We could see a new highest UK minimum temperature record as well over the next couple of days. And it's going to be a case of people sort of closing curtains during the day to keep the sunlight out and keep temperatures as cool as possible in the house. And if you've maybe got fans, that might help a little bit, but probably not extreme. It's going to help extremely, but sort of sleeping without a duvet or a lighter duvet or blankets instead of a thick duvet is going to help people overnight.
Yeah, it certainly feels like in parts of the UK we are beyond those small tips of advice. Yeah. What impact will these temperatures have on bodies, even in the fit and healthy, would you say?
So I think most people will probably need to sort of stay hydrated more, drink more water throughout the day. You're going to notice you're going to feel dehydrated more often, especially if you're spending long periods of time outside or doing any physical exercise outside as well. And checking on the vulnerable as well, making sure that they're drinking plenty and staying in the shade at midday. So people just need to make sure they sort of take the advice from our warnings and the NHS as well to do everything they can to stay cool at those peak times of day.
This warning, or these warnings, spread across big built-up urban areas, London, Birmingham, Leeds, big tall buildings, tightly packed together. What effect will those urban areas feel over the next couple of days?
So there'll be some sort of what we call an urban heat island effect, where it will feel hotter in urban built-up areas just because of sort of cars, as you say, buildings and the concrete and tarmac around as well. It's going to feel a little hotter there, even though maybe the ambient temperature, the air temperature, isn't actually any higher. So I think trying to stay away from those sort of areas is going to help if you possibly can. Obviously, people do still have to go to work, but it's also noticing that people are going to start flocking to the coast or maybe areas lower sea, sort of water, lakes, rivers. Just being careful of water safety as well if you're going to go to around those areas to cool off.
A busy couple of days ahead for you, Rachel. Many thanks for joining us. Rachel Ayres, Senior Operational Meteorologist at the Met Office in the UK.